Hey everyone, I'm Nate.
And I'm Abby.
We're the TheRcSaylors, and we're at the airfield to show you a drone called the L603. It's about a $60 drone, and we'll have it linked in the description box below for you to check out. But this is an altitude hold drone that has optical flow positioning. So that's going to be fairly similar to the Ryze Tello. Now, it doesn't have the programming features that has. It doesn't have DJI parts inside. This is just a budget toy grade drone that will have some of those features. And to those of you that don't want to spend $100 on, it's still a toy grade drone, the Ryze Tello. This is a $60 option. The arms fold in, kind of like the Mavic. It should be pretty promising. So let's take a closer look and see what comes in the box. Then we'll fly it and see how it performs. Normally I try to have this stuff out of the box and just show you quickly what comes in it, but it's a little bit of a different, unique unboxing experience, so I wanted to share that with you. Kind of cool. This sleeve pops off, and then you have this other box inside, but you couldn't really just keep this box, you have to keep that sleeve, because if you were carrying this around, these little guys could pretty easily fall out.
So easily.
Well, kind of. The instructions are in here, so we're going to set that off to the side. But then these guys are all of your parts, your drone and stuff. Kind of different. You know, we never really see it come in little separate boxes, but I kind of like it. Although it'd be less convenient if you were to keep the box and you used it every time. I kind of like the whole lid lifting up. Here's our transmitter. It's nice and thin. It's sleek, but it's a bigger transmitter. Again, altitude hold, so these are both spring-loaded. Power on the front, and all the other functions are here on the top. The nice thing is that they're labeled. Low, high rates, flips, all that stuff is labeled. Underneath the transmitter, we have prop guards that we are going to opt out of today, but if you're a newer pilot, you should definitely use those. Now, the drone is kind of neat. It's kind of similar to drones that we have seen before, you know, our Mavic knockoff style stuff, but they did a decent job with it. The arms unfold, and it turns into a much bigger drone. We have a nice looking camera on the front. Hopefully it's better than our average toy grade camera drones, and then you can see that is kind of like a modular camera system. They probably sell this without the camera, and it makes it easy for them to uninstall it. But then we have a downward facing camera here, right in the center of the drone. That is our optical flow positioning camera. And then the battery is right here on the back. It was a little unique, somewhat proprietary, because here's the connector inside the drone, and then the battery has to be charged with a USB micro cable there. So that's going to be a bit of a nuisance for some people, that you can't very easily buy multiple batteries for this unless you buy directly from them. So a bit of a downside there. The accessories box has our charger, spare props, and phone holder in there.
Ooh, it's a chip clip.
The good news is, yep, it's a chip clip, and it looks to be a pretty easy installation. We're just going to snap that on, and then we can take any large phone, even in a big case, probably some small tablets maybe, maybe not, and it fits right in. I love chip clip designs. They're sturdy, they're safe, they're quick and easy to use, and I just think they are the best and cheapest option for everybody. So we should always see chip clip methods in this toy grade stuff, in my opinion. Let's fly this and see how it does. I'm just going to pop it right in the air. Little gust of wind there, kind of threw me off at first, but we're flying. And this does have altitude hold, and you can see that our app is a bit frozen here, unfortunately. We're doing a screen recording because the app saves to within the app itself, rather than
saves to the app.
Thank you. Now here's what I'm impressed with. Let me just show you.
Yeah, and then there's the windsock. There's the windsock, but it's kind of tangled.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah,
I am 100% hands-free. The visual positioning system is working on this toy grade drone. We do have our video signal back. You can see though it's a little on the choppy side. It doesn't look amazing, but it's working. Oh my gosh, this is working. I did not expect that at all. let's do a little more than a basic hover, see if it'll work higher off the ground and stuff. I haven't touched the controls since it took off, and I'm just giving it minute inputs so it's flying nice and slow for video purposes. Wow. Wow, 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 this is working, holding in the breeze as good as the Tello does. I can't believe that. That's the very first thing that I'm impressed with. It feels like a GPS drone.
No, the very first thing you were impressed with was when we were getting everything synced up and you turned the transmitter on.
It vibrates.
And you found out the transmitter has
it felt like a PlayStation vibration on the controller. It felt really good. It didn't feel chintzy or cheap or anything. All right, let's do a little bit more with the video for you guys. I'm gonna give it a rotate around and just see if the visual positioning can still work as we move. It's kind of going with the wind, but it caught itself right there. And yeah, this is amazing. Abby, I want you to like experience this too. I'm just passing the controls off to you. It really feels like a GPS drone. She's got the controls now, passed it off, and it's amazing how well that works. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I was not expecting that. I was ready to say it's not there yet, the technology's not there for the price. The drone isn't very loud, it sounds pretty good. The headlights on the front look great. I'm honestly impressed. This is in the low rate too, so you might want to...
It picked up for me.
It did, yeah, it did. Do you want to try the high rate and just see how it goes?
Yeah, how do I
it's actually labeled LH on the top.
Oh, it vibrated.
It vibrated instead of beeped. Yeah, nice. So you're in a higher rate now.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the vibration function instead of beeping a lot.
I do not like flying around this pole.
That's the
last time I flew around this pole, I hit the pole.
Yeah, with an airplane on a landing. Okay, so you're flying around, zipping it around, doing little kind of basic cyclones and stuff, but you're also able to hover and hold it in place really well in this wind. I'm so impressed with this. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just me.
Maybe about a year ago we did a video of the best folding arm drone under $50.
Yeah.
I think this one just goes a little bit over $50.
60 bucks.
It
roughly.
knocks this one out of the park.
Yes, it does.
Or that one out of the park.
Now here's, I'm not going to compare this directly to the Tello. That's an unfair comparison because the Tello is supposed to do more like programming.
Well, I can tell you the Tello video is way better.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But as far as the drone flight performance goes, personally, I like this way, way more because some people might get mad, but I think most people will agree. This one comes with a transmitter for that $60 price point, and it's a nice transmitter. Everything's labeled. It feels good. It operates on 4 AA's, has the vibration function, which is totally new in the toy grade drone realm. I'm very impressed. Wow. I want to fly it again.
Okay.
So you're pushing over because of some wind.
Yeah.
It is some nasty wind, but I've got the controls now, and I'm just going to walk out here again.
Yeah.
Because I think this is really the big selling point of this drone. It's amazing.
Lower it a little bit, Nathan. There you go. He said he can't believe it. I think he's stunned. We didn't expect it to work. Sometimes when these toy grade drones advertise something like optical positioning, it's just a joke. But that's pretty awesome. And there's the wind. It's knocking that sock around a lot.
It's crazy. This is why I like the hobby. We do a ton of drones, disappointed. The last like 5 drones we've done outside have been so disappointing, right? Like the apps don't work or whatever. This is why the hobby is so much fun to me. Something like this 2 years ago probably wouldn't have even existed with that visual positioning system, let alone be $60 or even $100. I mean, and this is some really gusty wind, and that's why it's moving around a little right now, but it is holding its own. I just am so impressed. It's very exciting when something like this in the hobby happens because because now it sets a new bar that everyone else is going to have to hit for us to recommend. Now, to those of you that are just tuning in for the first time ever, and it might sound like I am just saying, oh boy, this is amazing and it's perfect and blah, blah, blah. I don't always do that. Most of you know that have tuned in, and this is the first time you've seen our videos, we're brutally honest. We tell you don't buy stuff.
Well, here's a negative. The one thing I don't like is that the video only saves to the app instead of your phone.
I agree with that.
Kind of a pain to get it off the app. That's why I just said, Nathan, I don't want to deal with that. Let's just screen record it.
Yes. Yep, good point. But overall, I mean, this is really awesome. I can't believe that it's actually working. You don't have to calibrate a compass or get the GPS coordinates going or anything. It has the visual positioning system, which is really doing an amazing job, but we can still fly it around and have fun. There's a couple features we should test. There's a flip button, which we haven't done yet, so let me just get it centered up so it looks good in the sky so you guys can see it. Let's test the flip and see how it does. Oh, when I hit the button, my transmitter vibrated. I think it's a press and hold. It is. Now that was cool. I press the button, the transmitter vibrates, nice like solid rumble, and you hold it and it vibrates more while it's flipping.
Cool.
That is cool. That is so cool. Okay, now we also have a headless mode. Generally, I don't like headless mode, but I will test it. We're dealing with some wind, so I'm still fighting that a bit. Let's put it into headless mode. Now, as it's still holding its own, that is 100% it. I am not touching that. And see the wind? I mean, it is just crazy. I cannot believe that. Okay, let's give it some rotation. I'm going to point the drone toward us. Oh, the lights are blinking. Now that may be, okay, headless mode, that's probably because we're in headless mode. It's facing me and I'm pulling back and left on the right stick right now, so headless mode does work. And for a beginner type drone, I think that's kind of important. You can put it in headless mode, and no matter which way the drone is facing, when you push away, the drone will fly away. You see? When I pull back to us, the drone is flying back to us, even though it's facing at a weird funky angle. It's facing back left right now. No, I'm going to get it out of headless mode though, because I prefer to fly with the orientation of the drone.
Another con that we were talking about,
The battery.
is the battery.
Yes.
Yep. It is a proprietary battery,
Yeah.
so none of your other batteries that you have in your collection are going to work on this drone. Same with the charger, or is it a basic?
It was just a basic micro USB.
Sure, so
yeah.
you have to have the battery that works with this. So
Oh,
that's the other major con with this.
Our lights are blinking, which means a low battery, so I'm going to press auto land. You click the right stick. Now, I forgot to do that with the takeoff, but there's an auto takeoff feature as well. So you click the right stick to auto takeoff and auto land, and there's actually an emergency stop button. So let's just test that very quickly. I'll do an auto takeoff and then I'll press emergency stop, as you just witnessed, completely kills the motors no matter what it's doing. So you can do that 50 feet high if you want to, or 2 feet off the ground. I was not expecting that. I honestly thought this would just be an easy one to write off and say pass on it, but I am far from that. There are many things that I like about this and only a couple things that I don't like. The transmitter is way nicer than I expected. I love the fact that it has the vibration rumble, and it's actually good quality, and it doesn't feel cheaply made. It only operates on 4 AA batteries, and I love the low profile design. It's not cluttered with a bunch of trim buttons or anything. You don't even need that because you have the visual positioning system. The sticks do function as something, so auto takeoff, auto land, but everything else is labeled. You have the choice to do camera video functions up here or within the app. You have a flip button, rates, headless mode, emergency stop. Again, all labeled. The little phone holder easily comes off of here. If you press and hold that button, it slides off for storage, but it clips right on easily. And then it's the chip clip method, which is my personal favorite because any phone can quickly fit in there with or without a case.
And when we started the app, I took a screenshot of it. It asked if you wanted to fly with a remote controller or app control.
Yes.
So that's nice that it asks you, because some apps have a mysterious hidden button that says on off. And a lot of people don't know about that button, but if you ever have a drone and you can't get the remote control to work with the app on, check to see if there's an on-off button.
But that's not the case with this one.
Nope.
This is awesome. There are no complaints. This is just perfect. I think more transmitters should be exactly like this. The drone itself, probably the biggest downfall is the battery. Now, we had a good flight time. There was nothing to complain about with that flight time.
It was like an 8-9 minute flight time.
That's a one cell, 3.7 volt, 850 milliamp LiPo. Some guys out there could probably rig something up so they could convert this to a more common style battery. Now, if we can find spare batteries for this, we'll link them up, and if they're fairly priced, grab them. But that's a definite downside to this. The camera does tilt manually. If you want to face it straight down, you can, or perfectly horizontal, or everything in between. So that's great. And then the arms fold very easily, and it's almost half the size as it was before we unfolded it. It's funny, it says elastic on the top. You know, don't get me wrong, guys. This is not a DJI Mavic. It's far from it. But for $60, the amount of technology that's in this and the fact that most of it actually works really well, actually everything that we did worked really well. This is a home run. If you're just getting into drones, this spring, summer, and fall coming up is going to be like your first heavy year into the hobby. This is one to pick up. It was a blast to fly. It's very easy to pass the controls over to somebody else that you're maybe showing how to fly a drone. That visual positioning system on here, even though it's a cheap little downward facing camera there, worked amazingly well, even in wind that is much higher than I would recommend most beginners to fly in. Is it perfect? No. But for the price, this is one of the best drones I have personally seen and had my hands on. I say you pick one up. We'll have it linked in the description box below. When you get one, tell me about your first flight. I love when we get good drones on the channel and we can recommend them to you guys, and then you pick them up. I love hearing the success stories. So please, buy one, tell me your experience, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye!